Hello and welcome. My name is Aisha Sheikh, and I am currently teaching World History at the Cedar College PCHS campus. Today, I'd like to introduce you to my class, Fatima, Amna, and Iman. And the purpose of today's podcast is to find out what exactly is history at the A level and why students should think about taking it as a subject. So let's start with that question. Why did you all feel that history was a subject you wanted to take? Let's start with Iman.
I think it's very interesting because all three of us, neither of us had history at the O level. So our only experience in history had been Pakistan studies, which is worlds apart from what world history is like. And so for us to be able to explore it in world history at the A level, and I think we're going to be talking more in depth about the
Yeah.
syllabus as well. But for me personally, I was always very sure about the fact that I wanted to take history because the future field that I wanted to explore is going to be within the realm of international relations. So, political science and economics, I felt like having history as a subject at the A level is going to give me the experience that I needed and make me a more informed citizen, because I feel like history is a subject that sort of covers all bases and it makes you more informed on what was and what is. There's a lot of room for introspection as well. So you're exploring a lot of things beyond just the syllabus.
Amna?
Yeah. So Iman, as rightly said, history is a subject that is not, taken up by a lot of students, right? And I personally had a lot of interest in history and international relations ever since I was in school. But unfortunately, world history was not offered in my O-level school as well, which is one of the reasons which I took it in college. Apart from that, my other subjects are math and economics, and history as a humanities subject pairs really well with those subjects because it sort of brings a very empathetic kind of voice into my subject combination, which a lot of Ivy League universities also look for. And I personally also believe that history has had a lot of impact in my personal life as well, because I've learned to analyze and evaluate every single thing, whether it be political, economical, and every problem in real life, every problem that we face in Pakistan, I can relate it to events that happened previously in history, and I can sort of figure out that history repeats itself. And I also figured
So it
out,
does repeat itself.
yeah, history
Yeah.
does repeat itself, and whether it's a revolution, I can link it to what I studied, and I can come to a conclusion ke, how can we solve this problem and what impact that it can have on our social life as well.
Very nice. And Fatima?
Agreeing with Amna, history does repeat itself, as the famous quotation goes that the history book on the shelf will always repeat itself. History, moreover, also gave me a break from the juggling numbers in maths and accounting, which were interesting, but history really allowed me to think outside of the box. History really allowed me to explore different perspectives, to evaluate and analyze, and it just basically overall improved my writing technique as well for any essay based subject, which is really going to help out in university applications.
Okay, so let's break some myths about history. All right. People think that history is a very dry and boring subject. How do you respond to that? Is that
Not
true?
at all. I feel like this goes back to what Amna said. The fact that you're able to draw parallels between what's happening right now and what was, it makes you, like I said before, I feel like I sound like a broken record, but it does make you a more informed citizen, and it forces you to reflect. It changes the way you see yourself and the way you see the world around you, and the role you play within the world and the structures around you. And I think Amna and Fatma would have a lot to
Yeah.
add to that.
What I would like to say is that history is not just about learning and rote learning, dates and
Now,
content.
that's another myth, by the way,
Yeah.
that it's got too many dates.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, you don't have to remember the dates. You have to analyze the events and sort of relate them to what we do every day in real life. You judge the events and then you make your own decision in real life as well. So I don't think that history is a dry subject, because it's not just rote learning content. It's you give your own opinions, and you give your opinions regarding very important events that shaped how the world is right now. So once you really get into history, you'll realize that it's not it's actually a very real life based scenario.
Yeah.
Fatma, would you like
Yeah,
to add
I
to
think
that?
I'll add to that. history wasn't just all about the content. It really allows you to explore and evaluate like different perspectives, as I said earlier. And a lot of people see history as like just a very a subject that has a lot to memorize, right? But if you really just look, and you'll find interest in so many of these situations. Like if you look at the French Revolution and the actions of Robespierre, because they were so interesting, because like a lot of politicians right now in the current state of the world, they're doing the same thing. So it was interesting to draw parallels between that
Yeah.
and just overall view that and
I think
evaluate.
history at the A level is about talking about pivotal events, cause and consequence,
Yeah.
change, how things have progressed, and how history does actually repeat itself. So let's talk about the course outline. What does the syllabus compose of? We are doing the European option. And of course, in paper one, we have the document question, which is a source based question based on one of the topics. What are the three topics? French Revolution and Napoleon. Would you like to talk about that, Fatma?
Napoleon was like a figure that everyone has different opinions about. Like even in
You
history
either love
class,
him or hate him.
yeah,
Yeah.
even in history class, Miss Aisha always saw him as a hero, whereas like personally
Anti-hero,
me,
anti-hero.
yeah, personally me, I saw him as someone who had a big ego, who was a good leader but not a good human.
Don't all leaders have big egos?
I don't think so.
See, those are the questions history forces you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly.
And I think Iman would add on to that.
Yeah. So other than the French option, we also studied Russia and we
Yes,
studied
the Russian
Germany.
Revolution and Lenin.
So we were really, it was like we were sort of, I mean, I don't want to sound cheesy, but it was like we were transported back to the 18th, 19th centuries, and we were able to really dissect all these things, that these events that to this day have a very prominent relevance in our day-to-day life. And also, I want to answer the question that you asked before about numbers and whatnot. I think compared to some of the other A-level subjects that are very, they're based in the syllabus and you only have to stick to the content on paper, I think all my memories from history class are just us sitting together and genuinely having meaningful conversations, insightful conversations.
Yeah.
It was like the round table conference.
Yeah. Whenever I used to be in history class, I used to forget that it was a class, because I really forgot that we were sitting in a class, and I really dove back into Germany or Bismarck's actions or the French Revolution,
Making history come alive.
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
picture all of that happening as of right now in this world as well. So I think that's what makes history a very, very interesting subject.
So another myth that is out there is that there's no future career if you take up history, and it does not help you in college applications. How would you three who are going to be applying to colleges this year, how do you think history will help you?
Okay,
Anna, do you want to take
yeah.
that? Yeah.
So, history, first of all, has full credits in universities as well, right? And secondly, a lot of the students, they take science subjects. For example, they have 3 to 4 science subjects, right? So, universities, obviously, they appreciate the science subjects, but if you have a humanities subject that pairs well with those science subjects, it will show them that you, as a human being, also have some values.
As a student, you have gone out and explored
exactly,
other areas.
exactly, and you also are kind of aware of what's happening in the world, right? So they really look forward to that. And history is open to a lot of fields: economics, political sciences, international relations,
Law, journalism.
Yes, so there is no limitation as to what field you can go into. Even if you don't want to go towards social sciences, you can take science subjects, for example, math, physics, chemistry, and then pair it with world history.
It just
as a
gives
subject.
you your profile an edge over
Yes.
everyone else. I mean, you'll have thousands of students applying for STEM subjects.
Yeah.
But especially the traditional universities, Oxford, Cambridge, Yale, Harvard, Columbia, they all like to see that student profile that is a little out of the box than the norm. And that just makes it a more interesting portfolio for them to read.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about what advice or what encouragement would you give students who may be thinking of taking history as an A-level subject?
I would definitely say that whatever apprehensions you have about the subject, because I remember before I was about to take up history, a lot of people, A2 students, seniors, and counselors came up to me and said that it's a very challenging course. It's not very easy. You're going to end up losing marks and not even realize it.
And what did you score?
I got an A in history.
All of you got it.
Yeah, we all got it.
But I think the course it forced me to challenge myself. And I think a lot of people, because I wasn't here in Karachi for my O-levels and I moved here from Lahore, back in Lahore, all my friends, my seniors, and the people within my batch, they realize the potential that history has, and they're very informed about the prospects that it's going to promise them in the future.
So
and
it's
the
more
doors-
popular in Lahore, the
Yeah.
subject. Okay.
But when I came in Karachi, I realized it's not really like that. And I think one of the biggest reasons behind that is because people generally have the tendency to think that subjects like math, chemistry, bio, they're safer options because as long as you stick to the marking scheme and you write what's required, you'll get the grade. But for history, there's more room for subjectivity.
And they want the students to be more subjective, and they
Yeah.
want them to
Yeah.
be more innovative
To bring
and analytical.
exactly.
Yeah,
you
history
have
is a
to-
very flexible subject. It allows you to express yourself freely. If you know the content, you can really just shape your answer in the way that you like, as long as you follow
Yeah,
the
As long
format.
as you justify it.
Yeah,
Yeah, as
there's
long as
nothing.
you back it
Yeah,
up with
there is
real
nothing
evidence.
wrong of what you write in history because that's your own opinion about the
Exactly,
events that
yeah.
happened. As long as you justify it with evidence, everything you write is the correct thing.
It gives you the freedom to agree or disagree or decide how far something happened, like those 20 markers.
Last question. Well, no, actually, in the second year now, you're doing paper 3, which is Origins and Development of the Cold War, and we're doing paper 4, which is the depth study, and we're doing Stalin's Russia and Hitler's Germany. Quick question, fun question. Who's your favorite personality in history at this point, from what we have learned?
My favorite personality would be Napoleon. I would like to disagree with Fatma here because I really think that what Napoleon's actions were really good for France and they actually shaped the borders.
Absolutely.
They shaped the borders that we
He
have
brought
today.
France together.
Exactly. The policies Napoleon implemented, they are being seen in the world today,
Absolutely.
even in Pakistan.
And the
other
interesting
Muslim-
thing is that his Code Napoleon actually borrowed from Islam as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting that he went out and explored all aspects of law and brought them together in his Code Napoleon.
And I think the way he posed himself to the world back in those times, I think that is very commendable because in those times we did not have technology. So the way he got his message out there and portrayed himself as the leader of France, I think I admire that, honestly.
Fatma, favorite personality?
I think it would be Bismarck in Germany because
Bismarck over Napoleon.
yeah, because I feel like his confidence in what he was doing, despite the fact that it was not traditional, it really put him out there. It really established him as a leader. Even when the king wouldn't listen to him, he put forward his strategies that actually helped expand
Or cried
the empire.
when it
Yeah.
suited him. What about you, Iman?
I think it's very interesting because they said the Napoleon from France,
Bismarck
Bismarck
from
from Germany.
Germany,
I'm
and
going
you?
to say Lenin,
Lenin
and
from
Stalin
Russia.
from Russia. Because for starters, I mean, I'm obsessed with the Cold War. I find it so
Also,
interesting.
then this year's course would be exciting for you.
Yeah. And I feel like Lenin and the role that he played in history is something that is extremely relevant to this day. And we were able to see the sort of spiral and catapult of the things that Lenin did, war, communism, NEP, and how
Yeah.
that naturally, you had this transition into then Stalin coming into power and all that. So I think I found it very interesting to be studying that.
So, what would you like to say in your concluding remarks to this podcast? What would your message be
I
to
think-
students who are wanting to take history or are thinking about it?
We talked a lot about the syllabus and generally what it requires, but I think most students, their apprehensions come from a place of the practicalities of it, like sitting the exam and what it's going to be like, what the syllabus is like for them. I think for all three of us, we definitely had one thing or the other going wrong in our CI. I mean, for myself, for paper 1, I had a major time management issue, and that ended up costing me a lot of marks. But I still ended up making up for it in the other exams. And it just goes to show that history is a subject that it's not black or white, it's not binary. You can't really say, okay, I solved one equation wrong and I ended up losing marks and now I'm going to end up with a bad grade. As long as you know that you've contextualized the content and you've understood it, you familiarized yourself with it, you will be able to make do with the
And you will
the
get
exam.
that A.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amna?
I would like to say that, as you pointed out, that we did not have history in our O levels, right? So I would like to say that you do not need any prior knowledge about history or about the events. Like, you might have gotten overwhelmed when we were talking about the French Revolution, but we also learned everything about this in a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we learned everything about this in a year. So you don't need to be scared that, oh my God, this is a very huge syllabus. You don't need any prior content or knowledge about history. It will teach you everything along the year intelligence, innovation, analysis, judgment, everything you learn throughout this year. So you should take up history, and it's a very, very interesting subject.
If I could just piggyback off what Amna said, and I also don't think history is a subject where you have to stick to the textbooks. You watch one good documentary on Napoleon, you know everything about him.
But that is not the only
I mean,
source.
yes, of course.
Don't
Yeah.
encourage them to just watch
Yeah,
videos.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if it helps reduce the fear, once you know your content, once you know your formats, there's really no reason for Cambridge to not give you an A. And that's what Miss Aisha said when I was scared that I wasn't going to do well on the P1. She told us that there's no reason for Cambridge to not give us an A, because once you've perfected the content, your fear should be
You
reduced.
perfected
because-
your structure
Yeah,
also,
you've
the
also
way to
perfected
write and
your-
respond to a question.
Yeah, that's where you
Because
can
there is a
really
lot
nail
of written
it.
work
Yeah.
in history, let's not forget. You
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
work on your writing skills, analytical skills, and your time management. That's
Especially the evaluation.
very,
for
very
everything.
important. Yeah?
And those writing skills were, of course, taught to us by Miss Aisha,
Aisha.
and that's how we did it. So she's
Yeah.
gonna help you guys also in that same way.
She's going to tailor you guys for me.
Yeah.
That's what she did with us. We all ended up
डांटे
with
खा
A's.
खा के तुम लोग सही हो गए हो, हाँ? So in conclusion, history is not to be feared. It is a very, very valuable subject. If you know your content, if you're willing to read, if you have language skills, this is a subject that is tailored for you. There are not too many dates. And as we're doing content, the dates will automatically be fixed in your head because we repeat it so many times during the course of our study that automatically you can all understand the dates as well. And it is definitely not Pakistan studies. Unfortunately, Pakistan studies is taught in a very different way in our schools. At the A level, history is taught where your skills and your opinions are taken into account, where you are asked to divulge as to what the characteristics of certain personalities were and how they applied their knowledge and their tactics to events and how they shaped events, how revolutions came about. The first year is all about revolutions. And why do we not have a revolution in Pakistan? That's another question that we discussed in our class. It has credits. It has as many credits as maths.
For
in
the
certain
maths,
uni-
for the
for
maths,
the
in
maths,
fact, yeah.
for the maths in certain universities. Traditional colleges do prefer you to have a humanities, preferably history, sociology, on your portfolio because it just gives you that edge over everyone else. And so that's it. I hope that this podcast has been informative for you and you have understood the dynamics of A-level history. Thank you.